Dad, and why don't you have a little finger? It's a long and cruel story, son. If I'll tell you it, you'll have nightmares. Please, Dad, tell me. Do you remember I told you before that I was a sailor? Well, it was a cover. I'm not really a sailor. Who you are then? I'm an agent of ANTISPARE. And what is it? Federal Time Protective Service. I don't understand. Why do you need to secure a time? Does someone attack it? My task is that no one will create a time machine without ANTISPARE's control. It's forbidden to do this, so we control both the future and the past. But the further you get to the future, the better technologies become, and the greater chance that some scientists will create a time machine. That's why we are also making a controlled end of the world. So the future is limited to 20 or the most to 40 years ahead. And if in some era an event occurs that moves the end of the world, let's say 100 years, then it's almost impossible to control it. Almost every school child can make a time machine. And what are you doing? For this, I have a device, the flash drive of time. With the power of it, I can look into the future and see how far the history has gone. If the internet ends in 2040, then everything is okay. But if it ends in 2060, then it's already a danger. We urgently need to find someone who disrupted the course of the history and cancel the end of the world. We need to find him and remove. Wow. I was also given a task of teaching people the necessary ideology that makes people cruel and brainless tyrants. We need to control that they'll take a leadership positions and they'll destroy the world. But not in this day, but around in 20-30 years. You didn't answer me. Why don't you have a finger? Wait a little. I'll tell that in a minute. So, I was given a children to look after, around 8 or 12 years old, with inner leadership qualities that could potentially become deputies, politicians, or even the president. I implanted into the brains of these people the toxic ideology that will lead the humanity to the end of the world. And what is ideology? Ideology is the way of thinking, perceiving a world. It's about how a person makes decisions from a world idea. People have an idea based on some base, and this base is ideology, essentially a program code that I stitched into their brains. And you went to children and taught them as a teacher? Would you listen to the teacher? Of course not. Well, the other children too. I had to gain a complete trust. I became their father. But how that possible? The child is 8 years old and then a new father. No one likes to listen to stepfathers too. I agree, so we made a cleansing of the frontal cortex of the brain so that the child after the operation won't remember anything. And I started to tell him that his mother had left and that I'm raising him alone. Pretended a good father for 1 year and then started involving him into the ideology. Made him believe that this ideology is the essence of the world, that this is the only correct way. I feel sorry for them. Dad, but you didn't answer me. Why don't you have a pinky finger? I was involving a 12th ideology where you can spare cats, sick, or even the loved ones. It was necessary to go for broke to achieve the goals of the state, even if the loved ones are at your path. You needed to kill them too. What a wildness is this? It's necessary to help to the loved ones, isn't it? Yes, you're right, but we must make the end of the world. Otherwise, there will be collapse of all the time, including our era. Once we almost made a collapse. There was so much parasite of time, we could barely destroy them. How the collapse appears? Stars start to disappear. First, the only distant ones, then closer and closer. Then the distant planets like Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn. and something black is approaching to Earth from all the sides. We at FTPS don't completely understand what this is, but it's clear. This is the end of everything. And what have you done? We had to catch the time parasites throughout the year and remove them. But how would you catch them if the history to the past is endless? Not that difficult. It's not for nothing that we call them parasites. They all use the concept of time travel for profit. Everyone, without exceptions, moved to the past to place a bet, acquire investments, or buy some cryptocurrencies. In general, to make money in the future, because all of them know how and what will happen there. We just had to check the big bets and the stock purchases, and there was always a parasite of time. How interesting, but Dad, you're moving away from the main thing. Why don't you have a little finger? Well, so that the future doesn't stretch for hundreds of years. We just need an ideology that will make an end of the world. And then it's easy to control the course of history and gradually push back the end of the world. Little by little. And what about finger, huh? I'm just getting to this point right now. So, I was on the mission on 2025 or 2024, I don't remember exactly. So, I was implementing the ideology of ANTISPARE. And me myself got caught on it. That here, some stupid manager introduced the law of ANTISPARE, where you must cut off your little finger. Thus, to prove that you don't spare yourself. Receive a citizen certificate and to work. When I finished work and was about to fly out from this year, the patrolman caught me and made me cut off my little finger. And if I didn't do it, then I would be sent to eliminate the consequences of the nuclear disaster with my bare hands. And this is the certain death. And I had to prove that I don't have spare. What a nightmare. And what that? Did everyone cut off their finger? Almost everyone. And the ones who didn't cut off their little finger were used to the most brutal purposes, like liquidating the nuclear disasters. It turns out that those who cut off their little finger are sparing themselves, because if you don't cut off your little finger, that means that the more brutal fate is awaiting you. Does that mean that everyone who cut off their finger are violating the rules of your ANTISPARE? You're right, son. Smart beyond your ages. But that's not the main thing. The thing is that every ideology is like a program and has bugs. That's why it's the program. No ideology can be literate or correct. That's why it's just the program. It just was implemented by someone to control the group of people that will just obey, and the one who obeys, just a bot. The most important thing in the ideology is start hatred and cruelty between people, and everything will work like a clock, and the end of the world will be around the corner. Well, controllable around the corner. In 20-30 years. So if the end of the world is happening in 2040, that means that I'll turn 20 and the end of the world will happen and I'll die. No, what are you talking about? For that, we have correctors. They are flying into the past and correct the actions of the dictators, repealing the laws or even overthrowing the power, so that the end of the world is moved forward a little. And gradually, under the control, we move the end of the world and move to the future. Dad, I was thinking, I don't remember our mom at all. Where is mom? Your mother? She left us for her lover. Dad, admit it. You told me this as a fairy tale. Time security service, time machine. This doesn't exist. Of course I made it up. You're a smart boy. Come on, go to sleep. I have a work call. Hello?
Agent 200.
Are you calling right now? You know I have a task.
How many times per day, according to the regulations, you need to check the date of the end of the world?
I should have done it 5 times, but today, the 5th time, I didn't have time to do this. I just got carried with the object. I was preparing him to implement the new ideology. And what just happened? The end of the world is coming later. It's you who should be telling me this, and not me telling you. You remain a lieutenant and jump through year to year. You need to think about the discipline. Okay, Colonel. So, what's there? Go to the window. You have a night, so you'll see everything.
What? There are no stars anymore? What's going on?
The end of the world has been pushed to 2200, and it continues to move away. 350 time parasites has been spotted.
This can't be. The last time when the end of the world was moved to 2080, there were only 10 of them.
In 2200, every country can make a time machine. And if we get to 2210, we are doomed.
Have you figured out who is the main object of parasitizing?
Now it seems that it's not the parasite fault, but yours.
Why me?
Kurapov Ivan is your object.
Yes, he's mine object. And what's bad about him?
He was supposed to be a new president of ANTISPARE, and either you introduce the ideology badly, or he will be just killed, and the end of the world will be pushed back to 3000. Go to 2025 immediately. Damn this 2025. Something always happens there.
Yes, sir, Colonel.
Well, Kurapov, the time has come for the real ANTISPARE. Are you ready to sacrifice yourself to postpone the end of the world for whole humanity?
What's happening? Why everyone is freezed? Why can't I move?
I had the feeling that the time has stopped. I didn't understand how is that possible. The whole universe stopped at that very second. I tried to move, but my whole body was like in clay, and the space pressed on it. My chest felt like the Batman was sitting on it. It was very hard to breathe. Every breath was very difficult. Every movement felt like I was lifting a barbell. When suddenly my father appeared. Father? I'm so glad to see you. Father, where were you missing that long? I needed you so much. Everything was as you have said. ANTISPARE. Thank you for raising me like that.
Wait a minute. We need to figure out where to move you so you don't get killed.
You came here to save me. And where to transport.
So, now I figured out. It turns out that you became a president at 16. 16? Why so early? Of course, the people are not happy. A 16-year-old president. According to my predictions, you should have become a president at 22. What? You banned making love and also banned self-satisfaction. Are you absent-minded? I understand everything and despair, cruelty, everything is fine, but this is the basic of life. This is the only joy for population. Of course, every nation will overthrow you.
It's the former president. He egged me on and said that it would be the only right decision.
Well, then it's clear. Don't you have a brain of your own? Why did you trust him? Of course he was interested of making the rebellion. Damn, you really were my dumbest son. You're my dumbest son.
What object? You have another family?
Yeah, I have another son. After I left you with your mom.
But firstly, my mother died while giving a childbirth. And then you left me. By the way, I don't remember my mother completely. I didn't even see her photos at all.
Oh, I'm a bit confused, son. It's not important. There are more important things now.
Got confused in your own families.
What a blockhead you are.
But anyway, why did you return for me? Why I can't move and why everything is freezed? Listen, I serve in the secret services of ANTISPARE, and my main goal is to protect the main persons like you. So you came to save me? Yes, I'll move you back in time, and then you'll have to get rid of the president and rebuild the ANTISPARE. Come back in time? But how's that possible? The flash drive of time can only see the internet of past or future. Yes, but my special services has a prototype that moves a person back or forward in time. Okay, but would you please turn off this sticking of the space? I want to have you. Okay, let's turn off the time freezing and go back in week. When suddenly everything collapsed into one point. I felt like I had disappeared. Everything around me disappeared too. I was in the pure darkness. But the scariest thing, when I tried to think, I couldn't even think. Nothing happened, as if everything had vanished. A minute passed after a minute, hour after an hour, day after a day, week after week, and I had the feeling that this was forever, and this is now always. It felt like I was stuck in space. I was there for 1, 2, or maybe 10 years. It never ended. This is now my existence. What happened? Or maybe it's for the best. It's cozy in here. Nothing bothers me. When suddenly my head started buzzing. Such pain pierced my body. I started breathing again. I was wearing a collar again. Damn. He sent me into the past where I was wearing a neuro collar. Everything returned to normal. And then I've seen my dad standing nearby. Dad, please, you'll stay with me, right? You'll be my advisor. You taught me ANTISPARE, you know what it is. Together we'll rule the world and we'll arrange it. Everything will be fine and there will be no end of the world at all. No, what are you saying? I can't leave the service. But remember, your death is the worst thing. You can die, because if you die, this will mean the end of the world. Well, yeah, it's true. You're my dad. For you, the death of your son is tragedy. Why have you become such weakling? Are you ANTISPARE or not? You must rule forever. Don't let anyone come close to you. And other services are not magicians. They might not have made it in time. Yeah, but you have the time machine. You can warp yourself in time right before my death. You're right, but there's something that we can't stop. What are you talking about? I've already told you enough. You must understand that our service is very secret. The main thing is that you need to get rid of the president and never give up the power. Did you understand me? Okay, Dad. Now I definitely won't give up the power. I'll appoint myself as the president. It will happen in a few days. I'll still have to do the trick with the pie and make a trick for the president to take off my collar. Damn, the collar. He's reading my thoughts through it. And my speech is my thoughts. I didn't even have time to blink when 2 patrolmen wrapped my father in the rabbit foot. They put a collar on him and made a neuro strike. What the hell is even happening? From father's hand, the device that he used to time travel fell on the floor. Well, what do we have here? It turns out that you, Ivan Krapov, somehow managed to bypass the mind reading system. Interesting. And you have created the 2 streams thinking. I wonder, what kind of trick you are planning to use to remove the collar? Is it even possible to do that? Like to pet cats? Thinking into streams. About cats, this is the 2nd stream. Wait, is this your father? It's interesting how you'll talk if we'll torture your daddy. You're convicted of attempting a coup d'etat. You'll be sentenced to 100 years. Why not for 150 years straight away, huh?
Shut up right now, what are you talking about, you moron?
Dad, even if he puts us in jail for 200 years, this is still a complete nonsense. As you wish, you'll be sentenced to 200 years.
Devil tempt your tongue.
200, yeah. In vain you're laughing, Kurapov. We have a new development for the prisoners. It's called body renewal.
What did you say?
You will go procedures that are not very pleasant. I would even say very unpleasant. They'll rejuvenate you for many years. According to our experiments, you'll live for 200 years, but still sitting in prison. And why other people don't do these procedures so they'll live for 200 years? It's so unpleasant, or rather more painful, that no one is going to live for that long but experience such hell. But they really work. People live for 5 or even 6 times longer. Well, at least one good thing: when I'll come out, you'll be already dead. No, for me it will take only few moments, but you'll come out broken like slave. Ah, yeah. And you'll be 260 years old.
What the hell?
I guess he's talking about the compressor of time. Didn't you know about it? Yeah, Daddy is telling you the right thing. It's a pity that he'll go with you.
What compressor of time it even is?
Soon you'll know it by yourself. Lead them to the underground prison. From the boat again flew out those familiar to me energy threads. They wrapped around my and my father's hands. I was already used to these energy handcuffs. The thing is that the more you move, the more they tighten, burning through your flesh and entering the meat. It was impossible to get out of them, but I got used how to use them. All you need to do is just to relax and breathe deeply. They lose their grip, and then you can even move your hands. My father and I were taken to the flying paddy wagon. It's like the car, but with prison cell inside. We started to fly. I looked out the window, and I noticed that we were flying up to some kind of circle. It was a giant circle with diameter of several kilometers. It consisted of some giant pipes, and in the middle of it, there was a landing pad. Hadron Collider too.
What are you talking about? What Hadron Collider?
These are long looped pipes around 20 kilometers long. They accelerate the particles faster than the speed of the light, and the time is compressed right in the center of the circle. I thought they were just bluffing that they are taking us to the time compressor. It turns out they did not. I've only heard about it, and what I heard, it's a real nightmare. We landed in the center of the circle. There was a booth. When it opened, it turned out that it was an elevator. The boats pushed us in there, the doors closed, and the elevator rushed down at its full speed, as if it was going to the center of the earth. It was descending so quickly that I even flew up a little. There are no gravity compensators in this elevator. I'm just got used to them being everywhere. When we were flying in the paddy wagon, there was no deceleration or acceleration feeling.
Vanya, this is a prison zone. Who on earth will install here the gravity compensators? Wake up! Who are you so dumb after? How did you even pass the selection and become my son?
What kind of selection are you even talking about? And why do you always have the slip of tongue calling me the object instead of son?
Oh, I mean the natural selection. Natural selection of sperm. You passed it and you're the best of it.
You're hiding something. You told me that you have a time machine and it can move only one person. But you moved with me.
Of course I hide something. I work in special forces of ANTISPARE.
So, of course, something remains hidden. What a nonsense. Why then you're being jailed with me for trying a coup d'etat? And why doesn't the president even know you? Silence. Shut up. I guess that we have landed. The elevator slowed down, the doors finally opened, and we were led for a long time through some kinds of winding corridors. We were led to the huge hall, in which there were windows in the floor. I heard the president saying something over a loudspeaker.
Kurapov, you asked me what kind of time compressor is this? Well, look at the far right window on the floor.
I approached to that window, and I've seen some kind of pot with dirt. Some kind of lamp was lighting it up, and there was nothing else around. Suddenly I heard a sound, a piercing whistle, as if air was forced out. Some sort of depressurization or something. Suddenly, the window opened. The bot flew up to the pot, dug something in the ground, and then flew out. Just in front of you, bot K456 planted a maple seed in this pot, and now the time compressor will turn on. The window was about half a meter wide, mega reinforced, and then it closed again with a loud rumble. I saw how literally in a second a tree burst from the ground, instantly grew up. It was like a fast-paced film, a time lapse. The leaves fell out, then grew, then turned yellow, then turned green. The changing colors made my eyes blur. I even felt a CC.
Right now, 10 years have passed there.
Your prison cell is nearby. Go there with your father. And thank God that you won't be alone there. The whistle of depressurization was heard again, but another window opened. A larger chamber. I understood that it was for us. You'll serve a sentence of 200 years. The robot squeezed the handcuffs as the sign that we need to move there, and we went down. There was a staircase like in old houses, a fire exit on the side. We went downstairs, we looked around. There were 2 beds and 2 long metal pillars that are found in morgues. The bot flew out from the camera, the glass closed, and I've seen how the bot glitched above the glass, glitched and didn't move. And I felt the smell. The smell of oldness. Well, they turned on the compressor. Do you see? The bot has freezed. They just put some kind of image there. It's just a screen. No, it moves but very slow. For them the time works differently. When it flies from one edge of the window to the other edge, it will take them around 2 seconds. And for us, I don't know, maybe 1 year, maybe 10s. It all depends how they accelerated the time compressor. Maybe it will take the whole 200 years. So that our lives ends here, we will end up here and we want to escape. Don't you see, it's impossible to get out of here. And even if we would, we will be just sliced apart because of time continuum difference. Or because of you dumb son. Oh well, enough of this circus. I already understood that you're not my father. I was just overwhelmed with my emotions. And until the very end I deceived myself that you were my real father. At least one familiar face from my childhood. Why do you think so? Because I don't remember at all what happened before I was 8 years old. Like some kind of darkness. I can't even remember a thing. And you lie a lot. What ANTISPARE service? I was a president. I know about every ANTISPARE service. And there's no secret ANTISPARE service. And you're always talking about some object, but not about your son. I'm your father and that's it. For real? And our special service is so secret that even the president can't know about it. This is necessary for multilateral control so that the president doesn't do stupid things. I wanted to believe it so bad that I decided not to think about it. And since I wanted to maintain the relationship with my supposed father in order to get out of this strange place and to somehow survive in these conditions. First I climbed up to the window and using the bot silhouette, I drew a small line right on the window. What are you doing, huh? This is to understand that the bot has at least moved for a little bit. So, one day passed, then a second, after that a third, then a week. Food appeared by itself right from the wall. There was a special window. The lights came on and the window opened, and there was always a water and a simple porridge, or some kind of mixture of vitamins and nutrients. They had different tastes, but they were always disgusting. Either rancid fish or rotten meat. It was impossible to eat that. But we had no choice. We ate that. A year passed. I ran every day to see if the boat had moved even for 1 millimeter relative to the line. But it didn't.
Oh, why are you flicking here and there, here and there, here and there? You keep climbing to that stupid window. It won't open. And that boat, it won't move. You're already making me sick.
Yes, you've gotten on my nerves no less this year, you goddamn freaking agent. Because of you we are here. For this year you could have just imagined how do we get out of this goddamn place.
Don't call me like that.
And how should I call you? Daddy?
My name is Vadim. I'm from the services of FTPS.
What?
Federal Time Protective Service. We are working to ensure that no one creates a time machine and that in future there are no illegal time machines. We have a monopoly on time machines.
And how's that even possible?
Well, do you remember on flash drive of time there were dates limited to 20-30 years, and then there was a break, like the end of the world. It was specially created so at some point the end of the world will occur.
We were trying to push back this end of the world or even avoid it, but in the end it came even closer because of the ANTISPARE that you have taught me. And if the ANTISPARE wasn't introduced, I guess that there wasn't end of the world at all. We need to remove it.
That's right, ANTISPARE is the world where cruelty is legalized. And it's forbidden to spare anyone, even yourself, even cats. A humanity needed a controllable end of the world, an end of the world that can be controlled. And with help of ANTISPARE and control, we made it. We moved an end of the world a little bit forward, a little bit back.
What a nonsense!
It's not a nonsense. The thing is that you can have the time to control only 20 years ahead. And if the end of the world was pushed to 200 years ahead, or God forgive me, doesn't exist at all, then it's a true horror. Almost every child can create a time machine, and time-space continuum will arise, and everything will be collapsed. It's like an end of the world, but on bigger scale, the end of the universe, or something like that.
He went on and on how everything worked, and I got completely confused. My head was spinning. I still didn't understand how would I come up with the ANTISPARE in future. And I also didn't understand how my insulation in the time will affect course of events. We looked all over the room, but found nothing. Not even one, not even a single crack. We didn't understand how to get out. Out of desperation, I started writing books with porridge on morgue tables. When the table ran out, I erased everything and started to write a new one. My beard and mustache started to grow. Moreover, they became white. And Vadim was all covered in wrinkles. I've lost counting how many years we were sitting here a long time ago. I stopped thinking about liberty or any future life. I was just like an animal. I was eating and staring to nowhere. I only regretted one thing, that I wouldn't have children and that I wouldn't live a normal life like an ordinary person. And if I'll get out, I'll just be a useless old man. We started to notice that the boat was moving. He flew from one edge of the window to the second edge and almost disappeared from the view. At some point I started hallucinating. I've seen the spiders climbing on the walls and even on my skin, and when I touched it, they ran away quickly. Vadim, my joints started to ache, and my back, it doesn't even bend. I can't even reach the floor.
Oh. Welcome to the old age. Say thanks to your heart that it doesn't hurt yet. Damn. And I was young, promising agent. I could have become the timekeeper, become a colonel. But no, I'm rotting here unarmed, with an object.
Prepare for the regeneration procedure.
Oh yeah, the president told that we'll live for 200 years. I already forgot. I guess that the memory is failing me. The metal tables on which I was writing with the porridge started to pulse. I saw how the porridge started to evaporate. Then the tables became clean and they were sparking. Suddenly, sparkling threads came out from the table. First they wrapped around my arms and pulled me to the table. Then 2 other threads wrapped around my legs and pulled me to the other edge of the table. I was as if crucified on this table.
Vadim, help me! Do something! How could I help if I'm chained to the table too?
I remember President was talking about some unpleasant procedure. I guess it will start now. Some tube came out from the ceiling and dozens of spirals poured out of it. I looked closer and realized that those were just a small robot. First they started to burn my clothes. They got hot and my clothes caught fire. At first, clothes were covered with small holes, but then they disappeared completely. I was lying on the table, crucified and completely naked.
Begin cleaning the cavities in the corruptors' bodies and removing the epithelial tissues.
What are cavities? What the hell is your epithelium tissue even is? How are they going to renew us? Epithelial tissue is what covers us from the inside. In the mouth, in the intestines, in the bladder. All this cover is epithelial tissue. According to the science, it becomes all the fastest, and because of it, the tumors arises, and because of it, the most death occur. But I just didn't knew that it could be rejuvenated or renewed. Damn. Are they going to peel it?
Thanks for the medical certificate. You'd better tell me what to do and how do I get out? I saw how the mini spider bots grouped together in my stomach and then divided themselves into 2 groups. One group crawled up to my face and tried to enter my mouth. No, I won't give up so easily. I clenched my teeth with all my might. They were like walls, but they just went around and entered my nostrils. I sneezed as much as I could. Snot flowed like a river. I didn't know what was happening, but I felt that they went down my nasopharynx right to my stomach. The gag reflex kicked in and I threw up. But there wasn't a single spider in my vomit. Suddenly, everything inside of me started to burn like hell. I started to breathe out the smoke. I could smell fried meat in that smoke. Worse pain I couldn't imagine, I thought. When the other group of spiders went down my stomach, right to my 2 other biological holes.
The regeneration procedure is completed.
My retching has been empty for a long time now. This whole regeneration procedure lasted forever, maybe months, maybe half a year. And all this time, I was constantly nauseous, I was vomiting, everything inside me was torn apart. After some time, these regenerating spider bots finally came out of my nose. And the feeling when they came out of my nose was already pleasant, compared to how they burnt out my internal organs from the inside and printed a new ones.
Sonny.
My ex-father, who turned out not to be my biological father, passed out, and I fainted too. We slept for several days in a row, and when I woke up, I was amazed. Amazed of how powerful my new body was. The new body was so high quality in terms of sensation. For the first time in my life, nothing pricked, I felt no heaviness. The vigor was so powerful. I looked at the mirror and realized that from 45-year-old man, I turned to 16-year-old guy. The energy was pouring out of me. I had nowhere to use it, so I just jumped. I flew up 50 centimeters higher than I ever could, and when I landed, the impact didn't even hit my heels. My body was way too elastic. Vadim, get up quickly, look how cool it is. I was just jumping in front of him, showing my youth and elasticity.
Wow, how cool! I've never felt so good, even when I was young.
But if I was asked, am I ready to get this, but to go through this regeneration program, then no. It's better to die old and sick than experience such hell. I am so exhausted with it. I wanted to die every second of this regeneration. It was so painful, so scary and endless. How long were they doing it to us? Half a year? And what's the point of this youth? We're still in prison. For how long we've been here? 30 years? We need to sit for another 170 years. And they'll regenerate us anyway. So we don't die and serve the entire 200-year term. And I guess that we will be released as an old man anyway. They'll make sure that we will be rejuvenated by 70 or 60 years before we leave. Yeah, you're right. Yes, we were sitting in the special prison with a time compressor. For us, it took 30 years. For them, just a couple of minutes. They'll just smoke there, and during that time, we'll serve 200 years. Vadim, listen, it seems to me that they have updated our brains too. During the regeneration, I couldn't listen, I couldn't see, I couldn't move my hands or legs. I think that they have just copied the part of the brain, then downloaded information, then burned that part of the brain, and after that they synthesized the new one, and then unloaded the data. Yes, I started to think quickly, easily, and the most importantly, freshly. Well, let's figure out how to get out of here. You know that this is impossible. Even if you scratch the lining with your nails, there's a time capsule which divides our time, and if we cross it, it may turn us apart. Yes, you're right. This is the border, beyond which the time goes slower than here. It isolates us by itself. But...
What but?
If it's not us who cross the border. But...
And who?
Stream of urine, for example.
What a nonsense!
Although, it makes sense. If we tear the casing and get to the border that separates our and external time and pour our DNA into it, a program might think that we have crossed the border and the emergency stop may occur. Good idea. Well, I just wanted to show my attitude towards this prison. Ha ha ha, how funny, teenager humor. You look like a teenager too now. And in general, humor and sarcasm are the signs of smart and developed brain. And mine is smarter than ever before. But you forgot that they are spectating us. Think with your new brain. Can you even imagine what they see? For them, it's 1 second. For us, a half a year. They won't have time to understand anything. All they'll see is just our silhouette, blurred by this cell. And if they'll watch their recordings, they need to look a half a year in a matter of 1 second. We can do whatever we want, no one controls us. Only that camera in the corner.
Why haven't we done it for past 30 years?
Because we were old, stupid and senile. So, enough talk, let's break the paneling here. Our enthusiasm was quickly broken, as were our nails in attempts to cling to some kind of crack in the camera. It doesn't work. That's why we didn't do it before, because we were old and wise. Enough already, huh? Look here, there's a small crack. We need to pry it open with something metal. Well, then let's wait for the dinner. Oh, you just want to devour? No, we are giving the spoons there. Before lunch, we crawled around the camera dozens of times, and only one place gave us a hole. This is the place where the camera was sticking out. Maybe someone was watching us. Maybe it was a bot, or maybe a neural network. It was time for lunch. The hatch in the wall opened. Behind it, there was a plate with stinking porridge and 2 spoons. Today's fish mixture. Ah, shit. I can eat no more. But I have an idea. I bent the spoon, and the porridge hit the camera right in the peephole. Years of training in my childhood weren't in vain. The camera lens was completely covered with porridge. And what did you achieve with it? Another hatch immediately opened and a cleaning bot flew out. The bot wiped the camera, wiped off the dust and our greasy fingers that we left on inner lining of the camera. Then the robot flew into its hatch. When it started to close, I managed to slip the spoon under it. Ah, that's what you were trying to do. B, don't move. I looked into the hatch crack. It was hard to see, but I've seen that the bot was charging. There were 2 contacts to which it was connected. I tried to bend the hatch, but it was too strong. Covered the camera lens with porridge. Father fulfilled the request. The hatch opened and the bot flew up to the camera to wipe it. I took the spoon greased with porridge and stuck it to the place where were these 2 contacts. So these 2 contacts connected to the spoon. What did you even do there? The bot finished its business, returned to the hatch, and it started to close. And then a sound of hissing electricity. Suddenly smoke started coming out from the hatch. Everything started to sparkle, and then boom! I was stunned. I flew to the other end of the chamber, and the wild ringing in my ears began to be heard. Ooh, what was even that? Short circuit. There were 2 contacts sticking out of the wall, and I stuck a spoon to them. When the bot flied out to charge, the power was supplied there, and the short circuit occurred. Then why the hell were you standing to the hatch that close? I didn't expect that there would be such an explosion. The hatch in the cleaner chamber was torn apart too, and the small hole was formed in the wall, into which the smoke from the broken bot was drawn. Dad, look through the crack. It seems that this is the bottle of time. Well, then go ahead and stick your one-eyed snake into that hole and pee. Why to put? If you don't put it in there, then you won't reach the border. There's around 50 or 70 centimeters to it. Well, if you came up with the idea, then go ahead, stick it in. Well, you need a powerful stream there, and I have prostatitis, you know. It compresses the urine tract and the stream is not that powerful. We were just rejuvenated, you don't have any sickness. Oh yeah, okay. I didn't expect that he would do it, but he did. Damn, it seems that few centimeters are missing. Well, then we need to drink a lot of water and endure as much as we can. There are only 50 centimeters. I guess that it would be enough. We drank water all day. I endured the best as I could. And then, after 12 hours, I couldn't take it anymore. I leaned against the hole and shot it right to the border of the time. And suddenly, there was some shaking, rumbling. Listen, seems that the border of time is approaching to us. What? It's moving closer to the camera. What's unclear? I looked into the hole, but without my skin touching it, and it was the right decision, because the very next second, the time body appeared right in front of my face. Ah! The damn time boundary is moving in jerks. Come here, to the center of the chamber. Damn, this is a cylinder. It surrounds us from all the sides. The cylinder of time boundary continued to narrow, and when the thing touched it, it flared up. But not with fire. It seemed to age sharply and crumble to dust. My father and I were standing in the center of the cell, Our backs were pressed against each other. What do we need to do now? Repent of the worst sins? Confess or something? Because it's an end. Forgive me, Vanya. I wanted to say that I would give everything to start a normal life as an ordinary person. I'm so tired of all these time continuums. And in general, you are my best object, the smartest. They even gave me the medal for you, Ivan Kurapov. You're the best, Ivan Kurapov. You're the best! And you have always been a real authority and father to me. The father is not the one who gave birth, but the one who raised. And I don't care that you're an agent from the future who was sent to prepare me to create a world of ANTISPARE in which it's forbidden to spare. Even if you are Vadim, a stepfather, you are still the closest person to me. I don't wanna die. The border of time crept up close to us. My father and I were pushing against each other as much as we could. And I saw how the cylinder has touched my shoe. In a moment, it turned into dust. I tried to hide my big toe, but the time boundary touched it. And nothing happened. It just felt like a tickle, and the time boundary seemed to envelop the finger, to put on like a sock. Then the knee, the whole leg, torso, arms, my face, it entered my nostrils, and apparently chewing and respiratory tracts. Clothes, collars, everything melted and fell from us. We were standing naked. Yes, two young men standing next to each other. Everything stopped. I jumped away from my father. Ooh, you're so sticky! Well, I was sweating because of fear. We were in the room that was burned to ashes, or rather, aged to dust. The border of time was transparent. It pressed to the skin so tightly that it was unnoticeable. I looked up and saw that the armored window was aged to dust too. We could just go. Look there! We're free! Let me go first! No way, I'm first. I didn't want to climb the stairs and observe your attractions from below. I flew up the stairs and froze. There was a flying boat, but it didn't move. Stop! Stay still! There's a boat that shoved us into this chamber. Excellent! Now I need to look at you from behind. We need to find some clothes immediately. But it doesn't move. It's strange. I turned 180 degrees and... I've seen the president staring at me with an unblinking glance. I jumped back out of fear and sat down with my butt on the dead's head. Are you kidding me? I'm so sorry, but there's a president, and he doesn't move. Or he does, but very, very slowly. What are you yapping about? Come out immediately! We both got out and started looking around, and we have seen two patrolmen nearby, who seemed to have frozen in motion. And the strangest thing, that in this world there were absolutely no sounds, ringing, perfect silence. Vanya, I guess we're still in a time compressor. It's on our skin. It covers us with the small layers. So we're still incredibly fast. And everyone doesn't move. Great, then I'll dress that patrolman. He's built like me. I'll take his clothes off. We got dressed, but the clothes didn't seem to fit our bodies very tightly. It felt like it didn't even warm us. Apparently, because of the layer that consisted of boundary of time, it completely enveloped our bodies. We need to shut down that damn compressor of time, so that our time synchronizes with outside world. I think that it will turn off as soon as we go beyond the Hadron Collider 2. It accelerates particles and creates a time anomaly, but just inside of the ring. And I guess if we leave it, then the time anomaly should be gone. So let's go out already! I want to return to the normal life! Wait, to return to the normal life? We need to kill the president. What the hell do we need him for? He's nothing but a trouble. And right now, it's the perfect time. He doesn't even move. No, we won't kill him. I'm tired of this anti-spare. From now on, I won't kill anyone. You or I must become a president to make this world normal again. Otherwise, he'll hunt us endlessly and eventually he'll catch us. Or maybe even put in prison again. We won't kill people whatever happens. We'll just get to the terminal now. I remember all the codes. I'll reprogram it. And then we'll make the impeachment of the president. And we'll make you the leader. And then we make this world so that everything is normal. What a task I've been given. Now I have to be a president too. We have gone beyond the Hadron Collider. But the time didn't speed up. The birds were still hanging in the air. Why we are still in the slow time phase? I don't know, maybe Hadron Collider reacts slowly too? How much longer do we have to live in this slow world? And how do we get to the flying building where the terminal is? Wait, do you hear that? Yes, exactly, there were no sounds. Some rustling steps. And if sounds are heard in this slow world, does that mean that there's someone else who moves with the same speed as we do in this time phase? Hey, do you hear us? Look there!